All right. Hello, Queen and Company Royalty. This is Ginger Williams. This morning, going to bring you a couple of card tutorials using two of our newer kits, the soon-to-be released Under the Sea kit, as well as we're going to make a Father's Day card with the Father's Day set. And I was going to start with the Father's Day set, but I had all of the supplies laid out for our Under the Sea kit card, and I just thought we'd just start with that since I know you all are excited to see that one in action. And because I think Wendy's favorite shape from that particular kit is the crab, we're going to make a crab card today. So first of all, let me show you. I've already pre-cut some of my papers, and I will give you dimensions as I go so that you can recreate the card if you wish later. But if you have any questions, if I miss anything, please. Oh, good morning, Kathy. How are you? If you have any questions, please just shoot it out and I'll try to catch it as I go. I have not done a whole lot of lives before, so I'll do my best to catch your comments as we go. But hi, Denise, how are you? All right, let's see here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to build our shaker with the crab die. So I've already cut out the top piece that will decorate our foam, but I'm going to start by popping out the center of our foam. Hi, CJ, I'm glad you're here. And I'm going to pull the adhesive cover off the back. And you can see we talked about this yesterday in the video I did. Some of these dies, you can see I keep my small dies from the kit on a magnet while I'm using them. But this is one of those outline dies that we talked about. And so I used that earlier to cut out the background piece for my little crab shaker. So I'm going to let that sit down here. And let's get that stuck down here. You can see the shaker portion of the crab is actually quite small, but it still ends up being very, very cute. All right, and then you want a close-up look at what's in the kit. You probably have seen this on the website, but one of the toppings in the kit are these really beautiful shell sequins, and there's a whole lot. It's hard to see in this bag, but each bag, and it comes in a bunch of colors, has a ton of these little fun shell sequins. I'm going to throw a few of these into our little crab here. And let's see here, one got away. And then also, you may have seen on the website the pictures, but I'm not sure you could tell what it was on the website yet. These are actually crushed seashells that have been dyed to match the colors in the Under the Sea kit. And there's a whole bunch of different colors in there. These are kind of a rosy orange color. And so I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, fun, have fun with your foundation dyes. So that's awesome, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a few of these into our little crab shaker. Those foundation dyes are some of my absolute favorites. We're going to use a few of them today as we make some of these cards. Okay, so throw a few of those in there. And then just because that made it more of a pinkish color that I want, I'm going to mix in a couple of these, which are not in the kit, but you can buy them separately. Some of these orange diamonds, just for a little extra sparkle and just to up the orange color just a touch. So I'll throw a few of those into his little belly here. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Denise. Let's see here. Okay, so that's what the middle of my crab is going to look like. This is what his little shaker belly is going to look like. Okay, so let's pull off the acetate or the adhesive cover and get my acetate on there. Now again, the kit comes with these pre-cut acetate pieces, but you could also use that outline die if you buy it with it as an add-on. The outline dies also will cut you extra acetate pieces if you need it. If you lose the acetate, they're hard to find sometimes. It's nice to have those outline dies so you can cut a new one real fast. Okay, so there's the inside belly. Oh, who's the speaker? This is Ginger Williams. I'm one of the design team members. So, okay, inside belly. And then this is now going to be ready to be glued on top. But in order to support his little, pinchers and his eyeballs, I'm going to take the extra middle from the foam shaker, and I'm just going to cut a few small pieces and help that go underneath his little appendages there to help support them so that they will stay the same height and not flop over once I get him onto my card. So we'll stick one on each of his little pinchers and underneath the eyeballs, and then he will be ready to be glued back down onto his little belly shaker. Now the crab has a whole bunch of little parts, just because, well, to make him cute. We have to have him cute. And so you'll see in the kit these little extra pieces. One is a mouth and 2 are the white eyeballs. And then this little piece here, oh, it wants to stick to my magnet funny. This little piece here is actually the eyeball. And it goes to a lot of the different pieces in this kit. So like the seahorse, the dolphin, the shark. So this little one here makes your little eyeball, including for the centers of the crab eyes. Hi CJ, how do I come up with really great card designs? Oh my goodness, I have a lot of fun making cards. And of course, Queen & Company has been a long-time favorite of mine. When they make such cute stuff, it just, I don't know, it makes my creativity flow, I guess. I just have a lot of fun with the cuteness level of things. I know some people are not fans of cuteness, but that's me to a T. All right, I'm going to use our sheer glue to go ahead and add this paper cover onto our crab belly here. This sheer glue works really well for holding things onto the acetate because after a while, you know, some adhesives tend to dry out and then they will no longer stick to the acetate cover, but the sheer glue stays somewhat tacky forever, and so you're not gonna have a problem with anything falling off of that. Okay, so there is, oh look, some of my foam is showing. I'm gonna move that back here a little bit. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Catherine. Okay, let's see here. All right, so there's the basic bones of our crab. And, okay, so now his little extra pieces. You can see I've already cut them out over here. So I'm gonna use our sheer glue again for this. I'm gonna get his little eyeballs put on there. Oh, you're very welcome, Wendy. Yes, sorry, threw me off for a minute. I thought my boss was watching. Maybe she is, but Wendy, yes, I'm glad you're watching. Thanks for being here. And Carly, yes, as long as they do not sell out, they will be at the Arlington show, but I know Wendy ordered a lot, so that should probably be there without too much trouble. All right, another eyeball here. And then, you know, one part of making you know, an image cute, I think, is actually the eyes. I think they're actually really important. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you, I always do kind of a little tiny bit of a cross eye. So here, look at those tiny little eyeballs, right? So I'm using my little craft picker here to get them in place. And I'm gonna put a tiny little dot of glue. But making the eyes cute, I think if they're just a tiny bit cross-eyed, they're actually a little cuter. So I'm gonna put a couple of dots right towards the center of my crab here. And let's see. I'm gonna put this upside down. Turn that over, okay. Now I can put this onto my glue. Oh, of course it doesn't want to let go because I'm live. Try it again with just my fingers here. All right, eyeball on place. There we go. And this other one right here. Get him on there. Okay, and then the last part, you know, if you don't have the last part, it almost looks like he has a giant mouth. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the piece that we cut out here. This helps make it so that the actual body looks like a body, like it's actually the crab, pardon me, the crab belly instead of his mouth. So we got to make sure we get that on there. And a little bit of glue. Again, that sheer glue, so it'll stick to the acetate better. And we'll get his mouth on there. Like that. Okay. So now our crab's all ready to go onto a card, but we need a card base. So let me get some of my mess out of the way here. And let me show you what I have planned for our card base. So these are papers from the Under the Sea kit. And the Under the Sea kit is really fun because it has a, pardon me again, a wide amount of colors. So you have some really fun, you know, boyish colors, masculine colors maybe, in the oranges and blues and greens and yellows, but you also have a great assortment of the pinks and blues and teals and purples for some of the other shapes. But let me show you what I just have a simple design here. So this is just your basic card front. In craft paper, it is just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece. And then this triangle piece I have cut out, and it is going to be, again, 5 1/2 by, I believe it is 3 3/4, but I'll measure it just to be sure because I cut it last night and I can't remember, but I think it's 3 3/4. Let me make sure here. Up here. Yes, we are at 3 3/4 with that one. Okay, and then this one, I took about a 1/2 inch off this one, so this one is going to be 2 1/4. Oh, excuse me. No, it's not. This one's going to be 3 inches on this one. Again, by 5.5. We're just going to add that right to the center of our card here. That way I have a little bit of the triangle paper showing on both sides. And that orange going down the middle. And then previously, I cut out these 3 pieces using our foundation dies. And, oh, I'm glad you got them, CJ. They're so pretty. You're gonna love them. Okay. And then, so these are the foundation die sets, or pieces that I used. With the large plain circle, the large kind of banner, I don't know if banner piece is the right word, but a sentiment strip, and then also this sentiment strip as well. So I cut those out of some white and teal paper, again, from the Under the Sea paper pad. And we're gonna go ahead and take this one, oh, excuse me, this one first, and we're gonna put this towards the top. It's gonna kind of help anchor our little circle we're gonna put our crab on, because we don't want him to blend into that orange background too much. We want it to help his color pop, but we don't want to lose him on him. So this teal sentiment strip will help him stand out. And then we're going to use that white on top and make him a little home. Hi Barb, how are you? Let's see here. I'm trying to catch your comments while I work, so hopefully I'm not missing you. If I'm missing you, I promise it's not intentional. All right. Now he's got a nice little home at the top of our card. He's going to go just like that. And we will again use some of that glue to glue him down. And I'll pull off the back end of his little support pieces. Oh, Wendy, you are watching. Hi, I knew you'd love the crab. We had to do the crab for Wendy. All right. So now he'll have all the support he needs to not get too flattened out. You could make bigger foam pieces to hold up his little appendages if you needed to. Oh, I lost an eyeball. We'll have to fix him. Maybe I didn't ever get glue on that one. I don't know. I'm trying to do too many things at one time, I guess. Oh, thank you, Denise. I'm glad you like the color combo. You know, I have one little girl, so I love my pinks and my purples and stuff too, but I happen to have 3 boys, so I've always been a little partial to some of those boyish colors. Okay, now his eyeball's not going to move around on me. Okay, and then last thing, I'm going to take our sentiment stamp set here, and I'm going to use this one right here. Sorry, you are feeling crabby. And we're going to go ahead and add that to the front of our card. This is the kind of card that I would make for a friend who I knew was sick, or maybe going in for surgery, or, you know, any particular reason that they might not be having the best day. I would think this would be a cheerful card to send or give away. So if I can move my dies out of the way, I'm going to bring my Misty over, and let's see here. Get this centered here on my sentiment strip, and keep my magnets from landing on each other. All right, and then I'm just using a pretty teal color here to match the little banner piece or sentiment strip behind my crab, kind of bring out that teal color again. And we'll ink that up. This is a pigment ink. I actually really love pigment inks. This one, I'm afraid I don't think that Close to My Heart makes them anymore, but the color is Lagoon. They make it in a dye as well, which is also fun. But I just love the crispness you get of the sentiments from sentiment stamps or any intricate dye with pigment ink. You just can't quite replicate that with ink, with the dye inks. But I do love my dye inks too, but I'm gonna get this really good and inked up. And then this particular font on this stamp set actually has quite a bit of little intricacies in it. So I like, again, the pigment ink, because if you get a closer look here, you can see there's a lot of detail in that particular sentiment. All right, so move that out of the way for a minute. Now, because it's pigment ink, I'm actually gonna heat emboss it so that I can get it onto my card fast. Sometimes I'll just set it aside and let it dry, but I'm gonna wanna show you real fast what we're doing with it and get it on the card. So I'm gonna take my clear embossing powder, and I'm just gonna heat emboss it real fast so that we don't have to wait for it to dry. Plus it gives it that fun, you know, shiny dimensional look. And if you've heard my tutorials before, you know I love dimension. So a little extra everywhere I can is definitely my style. Okay. All right. You can see I have magnets on everything. Helps me to keep from losing all of my little tiny dies. All right, here we go. That's my powder melting. Now, if I wasn't using a clear powder, I would you have used a little bit of an anti-static powder beforehand. But because it's clear, I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about it actually leaving little spots of powder everywhere. But anyways, I don't know if you can see the shine on that, but there's the shine on that. Okay. So, and just so that it kind of matches the dimension of my little crab here, I'm going to use some dimensional adhesive again, just to make my sentiment stand up and kind of match what I've done with my crab. It will look a little more like it was meant to be there instead of just stuck flat floating, or not floating. Okay. Denise, I'm glad you love the font. I am a font-aholic, to be honest, and so that particular font is one of my favorites for kind of that fun, you know, extra detail. All right. Let's get that attached here. All right, and that is the gist of our card. I'll attach it to an actual plain white card front in just a little while. But I wanted to show you one thing too. There is going to be in the kit I think Wendy, they're going to be in the kit. They're not an add-on, I believe. We'll double check with Wendy, but some fun new stones that we've never done before. Can you see those? Those are like mermaid scales, and they are going to be in the kit, I believe. And so that will be fun. So I don't have any extras right now to add, but I will later on go through and add 2 of those onto my sentiment strip. I like having just a little bit of extra bling on my cards. And since this is more of a masculine card, I won't put a bunch on, but I will add those later. Anyways, there's an Under the Sea kit, something fun to look forward to. I love that this particular kit has a wide variety of shapes that would work for anybody really, young, old, male, female, anything. So it's going to be a really fun kit with a lot of versatility in it. Okay, so let me clear some of this out of the way. And as promised, we have Father's Day coming up. So I want to bring over some pieces to do our Father's Day card. And you may have seen on our Facebook page or Pinterest page, or when I posted our little reminder about the live this morning, an image of a card that I made with the Father's Day set a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. And I wanted to show you how you can make the shirt on it. So if you've seen the picture, here, let me show the picture. Here's the picture. So this is the card we're going to make. And it's really easy, but a lot of people asked how we do the collar to make it look just like a shirt. So we're going to do that right now. So here's my plain A2 card front, and we are just going to stick down. This is from the Birthday Bash paper set. This is just a 4" by 5 1/4" inch front panel. I use that size a lot as a front panel because I like the little white border that, or, you know, or craft border or whatever background my card is, to be around a piece of pattern paper. Just kind of gives it a nice little frame, in my opinion. Okay, and then this piece right here, measure it here real fast. This piece, if I can get my ruler right directioned, is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, 3 3/4. And it's going to be the base of our shirt. Now on my original card, I did emboss it with a Cuttlebug folder to give it some lines. I'm not going to do that today, but I am going to take the corners and take my really old but awesome and trusty corner rounder, and I'm going to round off the 2 top corners here to help give it more of that shoulder look for the shirt. And one more corner here. And then we're just going to stick that straight down onto our card front as the base to our shirt, and give us a nice kind of home too for the little tie shaker we're going to make. So let me put that about here. We save plenty of room for the collar. All right, aren't those colors pretty, Kathy? I love the colors too. They, you know, they're from the Birthday Bash kit, but I use them all the time for lots of things. I've used them for monster cards, and they're just a great all-around stripe there. They work good together. Okay, let me set that aside just for a minute, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble our tie shaker. So let me pop out the center of the foam here. This is my favorite shape from the Father's Day set, probably because we go to church every Sunday, and so my husband is always wearing ties, and this is very iconic for both my dad and my husband, and it just makes me think of them. All right, so let me grab some scrap paper here. So in the previous card, I showed you how the outline dies work for the Under the Sea kit. Now in this particular kit, we don't have outline dies. And if you cut out with the die this particular cover, you'll see that you're going to be missing a part of the die. Sometimes you can use the center that is left over when you use the outline die to go in the middle of your set. Sometimes though that leaves a small white border around the edge, and you can kind of see that when your shaker pieces are moving around, and I don't like that. So I always either cut out a base out of a piece of pattern paper for my shaker, or I will attach it to something that I already want the color to show through. So for this particular one, I'm just going to take my foam piece and peel off the backing, and I'm just going to stick that down onto my pattern paper. And then just with a couple of snips of the scissors, I'm going to have this all cut out. Now when I'm doing this, it doesn't take very long, especially if the shape is, simple. If it's a more intricate shape, it's definitely more work. But I also don't worry too much about snipping off a tiny bit of the foam. You can see I do cut a tiny bit of the foam off, but no one will ever see it. So don't worry too much about how exact you have to be. It actually works out very well just to snip off a tiny bit of the foam and not worry too much about making it perfect, because it's going to go on the back and get glued down. No one's ever going to know. Okay, so you can see it's imperfect on the back, but from the front, it looks great. Okay, so next, I'm just going to take a few of these pops in colors that match my pattern paper, and going to go ahead and just add a few of those in there. I don't want to fill up the tie too much because I actually want that blue star paper to be showing through. And let's see, yellow here too. Let's see, Laura, I'm going to expand your comment so I can see your question. Can I say anything about the embossing container you used in the scoop? Okay, let me go back to Kathy's question, or Laura's question real fast. Okay, this is from the dollar store, I think. If you have a Dollar Tree near you, I think this came in a 2-pack from the Dollar Tree. And the scoop is a plastic spoon, probably also from the Dollar Tree, that I broke the handle off of. It is nothing fancy at all. And the embossing powder, let me think if I can remember the name. I think I have a bottle of it here. The embossing powder is this right here. It's from Ranger, clear embossing powder. So that's what I was using when I embossed that sentiment. Sorry, I just saw your question, Laura. Okay, but yeah, I don't, nice and fancy is great, but for this one, I just wanted fast and easy, so I saw this at the Dollar Tree, it looked perfect size, and then the spoon wouldn't fit, so I broke the handle off. So that's that. Okay, so back to our tie shaker here. I'm going to go ahead and, I don't want to overfill because, like I said, I like seeing that star paper in the background, and also I really want this one to be able to shake and move around. Sometimes I really want the shakers to move just a little bit, and so I'll fill a shaker pretty full. And sometimes I just want them to be partly full so they can really move. This is one of those cases. So now my pre-cut acetate is so perfect for this. Still all my little pops in there to shake around, mix them around, make sure that don't want all one color in one spot, so that looks good. And then I'm going to take my sheer glue and we'll glue our little paper cover on. I know some of our YouTube designers and some of our other design team members, they actually prefer to assemble the shakers the other way around, where they will put the acetate, or put this piece of paper down first, and then the acetate, and then the foam, and then they'll put the back on last. And you can certainly do that. I guess I'm just more of a visual, like I have to be able to look at it, and I will frequently pour toppings into my shakers, and then I will take some out, or I'll change the color and change my mind. I guess I have to kind of see it. So I think they're brave, the ones who do them, from the back up, or it can be from the front up. I'm not that brave. Okay, so that is our tie. Our tie is ready to go now. But we need to have the collar to our shirt. Okay, so let me give you the measurements on this one. I believe this one, let's see, 2, 3, 4. This piece is 5 inches by 1 inch. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna center it on my card and put a little bit of adhesive right down the middle. Just a little bit in the middle. And then I'm gonna center this on my card. About there. Okay, it's not perfect, but that doesn't really matter too much because we're going to fold it in. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take the corners, and we're just, you know, actually let's go ahead and glue this down, that way it won't move on me. Sometimes, like I said, I'm afraid. I don't like gluing things down until I know it's perfect. And so I will finagle everything into position and then I will glue last. So I'm being brave with you guys to glue as I go here. Maybe because I already designed the card so I know how it's supposed to look, I'm being brave. But maybe the rest of you are braver than me, but I'm not that brave. But I'm going to take a little glue dot and I am just going to pull those corners down right to the very top of my tie. That way a tiny portion is covered up with the collar. But the most, you know, I really want a lot of it to show, so I'm not going to put too much, you know, covered up. Oh, here's my glue dots. I already got them out. All right, so I'm just using these mini glue dots because you don't need very much. I'm just going to put them underneath the tips of the collar. You don't want to put too much adhesive down because you don't want your collar to flatten out. You want it to be kind of curved upwards so that it has that fun 3D look. And I'm just going to pull those tips in. Smash it down just a little. Okay. All right, so there is the base for our car, or for our dad tie card. Last thing, and another reason I didn't want to fill the tie too full, is I'm actually going to go ahead and place my sentiment right on top of the tie. So this piece is again another die from our foundation set that I cut out last night, and I don't have the die handy, but it's one of my favorites because it's one of our taller dies. You know, we have a lot of thin sentiment strips, which are great, but I like the fatter ones too because some of our sentiments, like the one I'm going to use today, which is the Terrific one that matches our tie sticker, is a little bit of a fatter or taller one. Isn't it easy, Denise? It looks hard. How do I store my kit? Okay, can you see this right here? I saw you guys talking in the Facebook group and I laughed because this is exactly what I do too with our shape shakers. This one is one of just the 4x6 sizes. So my shape shakers usually go in there. For full kits, I usually have a pretty good amount of refills, especially since I usually get to play with the prototypes. So this is actually the Iris 6x6, or maybe it's meant for 6x6 size paper. And so usually my full kits actually go in there. So I saw you guys talking about it in the Facebook group and I just had to laugh because I do the same thing. It's a good way to keep track of all the pieces. All right. And like I said, because I get the prototypes ahead of time to test, I often have a lot of refills, so I need that bigger size. I saw that a lot of you can keep the full kits in the 5x7 size or in the 4x6 size with, you know, maybe 2 4x6 sizes. But if you have enough refills or stuff like that, you need something just slightly bigger. All right, let me clean up my Misty here. Keep from spilling all my toppings everywhere. And we'll get this other last one stamped here. And this time, just for the sake of color, I am going to use, let me move that out of the way, a dye ink, so I won't have to heat emboss that one. This one's just, I don't know, it's a really old blue. I've had this one, I don't know, over a decade probably in my stash, so I don't even know if you can buy it anywhere, but this is the Rubber Stampede is the brand name. I think I got it from Joann's a long, long time ago. But it's the perfect color for what I want to do with this particular, you know, colors that I'm matching with the tie. And you can see, I actually put a little sticker on the side of these because the color on the front often isn't quite the same as the actual die that's in the stamp pad. So I have all my little ink pads that have a white cover, and they all have a little sticker that I stamped the ink onto the sticker so that I can see it from the side and see exactly what color it will be so it can match up to what I'm stamping. Okay, and back to stamping. I get this straightened up and use my magnets to hold on to it. I have to confess, before stamping platforms came out, I didn't like to stamp because frequently, I don't know if I'm just a bad stamper or what, but I couldn't get a clear image in one stamp, and I would often goof it up trying to, you know, stamp it a second time, even with clear stamps. But once stamp platforms came out, that was life-changing. And so now I actually really enjoy stamping because if it doesn't look perfect the first time, I can stamp it a second time or a third time or a fourth time. Let's see here. And actually that looks pretty good just from one time. So we're gonna go with that. And because it's a dye ink, I won't have to heat emboss it. I could, if I wanted to, I could stamp it with Versamark ink or something and then heat emboss it after that. But it's good to go for now. I lost one of my toppings. Okay. So last thing is I'm going to pop that up again with my pop dots or pop strips. foam strips, whatever you want to call them. These are also from the Dollar Tree. Okay, and I just need one in the middle. If I was going to mail this card, I would probably add additional pieces on the sides to support it. But this one's probably going to sit in my craft room until I decide to give it away on Father's Day to my guy right here in the house. So since I'm not mailing it, it's going to be able to stay right there without too much trouble. Okay, so that is the card finished, except for, you know, it's Queen & Company. We have to embellish, right? And so with the bling here, so I pulled out some of my favorites in colors that match the card colors. And so these are our frosties, and to me they make a perfect little button for this particular card. You can see they have a clear frosted look, and they make good collar buttons. So I'm going to add one of those to each of my collars here. Yeah, the Misty, yeah, those stamping platforms, you know, and almost all brands are fairly similar. I'm not particularly partial to any particular one. I have a couple, but the Misty sits out because it's a good size for me. But they're game changers. I love them. All right, and then these are some of our stars. And again, we have that frosted on one side and then the clear on the other. For this one, I'm going to use clear. And I'm just going to add a couple of those here. I have them in green as well. So we'll add a couple across the card just to kind of make it visually interesting. We're going to put it, you know, kind of in a diagonal pattern. That way it makes your eye travel across the card in a fun pattern. And these are our jelly gems. These are in yellow, again, just to add that additional third color. And I just like to sprinkle them around my larger pieces of bling. Okay, and that is going to be my finished card. Oh, thanks, CJ. The bling you need to order. Oh yeah, I'm addicted. It's my favorite thing. Even on a masculine card, I think it still works really nicely, especially if you have shapes like stars or the plain circles. So thanks for being with me, especially all of you that hung in me for the whole time. It was a lot of fun to actually be here, and I'm going to go back through the live and look for any questions or comments that I missed and try to answer those. So feel free, if you have additional comments or questions, to ask away. And I'm sure we'll be doing more of this. We really enjoyed having this new group and having all of you in there. So we want to thank you for joining us in the royalty group. It's really been fun to have a chance to get to know you all a little better. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for checking out the video. We appreciate it. Have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.